Alright, this is the most secret Avengers #1, the first issue in this spin-off series that never manages to achieve any greatness, despite it being released alongside the seemingly never-ending run of shit by Michael Bryan Benson on the main book. This is written by English lit paper. He was writing Captain America back then. He is mediocre in a vacuum, but a lame duck who doesn't deserve any acknowledgement when thinking of good Avengers writers. This cover would be alright, but it doesn't even feature the whole team, and as I have said before, that annoys us. The interior art is by another idiot who blocked me on Twitter. The only two artists who have blocked me on Twitter both drew this book. Even Bill son of a bitch hasn't blocked us. I really wish he would. I hate his art and I hate the man, but I'll say this for him. He doesn't block someone for existing. The idea of this book is half-baked and pretty much irrelevant from the get-go. It's a shame as well. They have got a name for the book that perfectly captures and lets you know what the setup is meant to be. But the book almost never runs with it. We start off here with a feminist empowering scene where the two female members of the team, Scarlett Johansson and Velcro, they are undercover as prostitutes. They are with some corrupt businessman. Oh, can you say Harvey Weinstein? So they are on his couch, his casting couch, and he's trying to feel them up, and it's not established in the script, but he may have already paid for them, and they just start punching them because they didn't want him touching them. So they have ripped off this poor sleazy Harvey Weinstein bloke, and they give up their disguises and reveal that they are really Scarlett Johansson and Velcro, and then Captain America, he shows up straight away to save them, because it turns out highly trained women, they cannot save themselves against sexual predators like Harvey Weinstein. What they really need is a man to do it for them. Hashtag everyday feminism. I really need to do a proper video slamming this book and its central idea that, while valid, it never adheres to. But there is some stuff to actually talk about in this issue. The heroes, they steal a box from Harvey Weinstein because that's what Avengers do nowadays. They just steal other people's possessions. They take this box of his, and then back at base, we have got Captain America and the Smurf. They are investigating its contents, and it turns out that Harvey Weinstein, he had the serpent hat, or rather, what turns out to be one of its counterparts from Mars. And as YouTube's #1 leading s.h.i.e.l.d. attacks comic-based YouTube channel, I will be eviscerating how English lit paper and editor Tom Beaver, they break about 100 comics with what they present in the next issue with their practically entirely new backstory for the Serpent Hat. But specifically here, we have got a problem, and this is something that you'll see the issue flat out use as a point later on. The Serpent Hat is meant to be able to influence people's will and force them to put it on. And here, Captain America and the Smurf, they just have it on a desk. They have it out in the open on their ship without any sort of protection or energy field to stop that. I will say, it's half nice to see Smurf back on the Avengers. Out here though, we have the character that the writer is really interested in. Captain America's crap girlfriend, the lass from Revenge. She is suddenly on the Avengers just cause he is writing the book and probably fancies her. Then we have got Ant-Man and Moon Man. This is the Derek Gravy version of Ant-Man. And Derek Gravy, he is one of the few additions to the Avengers in recent years that I am on board with. I think he earned his role and he had a good character, and obviously Ant-Man, As an identity, it has always had Avengers ties. So having him on the team, it was like one of the more agreeable parts of this series. We get backstory here showing how Captain America recruited Moon Man, and then our here with Derek Gravy. Derek Gravy, he had helped the Avengers out when he was meant to be working against them, so he picked a side when it mattered, and his reward and recognition for this is that Captain America has considered him for his Avengers team. And sadly, Derek Gravy and his little redemption story arc, it doesn't go anywhere. This run pretty much pushes him to the background, and then the character is tossed to the wolves straight away by Rick Remender, and he is killed off in his first story. And one thing that this comic has actually done well up to this point is introducing the team. We've had little action pieces with Scarlett Johansson and Velcro, and then Captain America. We had a nice bit showing Smurf's contribution being his science background. We had some very light espionage stuff with Derek Gravy and Moon Man. We had a boring scene with the Last from Revenge. And now that all ends because we aren't introduced to the last two members of the team. Instead, Rhodey Rhodes is just there for a scene. He doesn't do anything, he's just there to be there. And then, our final member of the team, he's so disconnected from the rest, I would argue he doesn't even class as a member of the team, despite being on the cover. Then we have got this scene of the team all together. They are being briefed, and you know what? He's not even there. With this team, the setup is obviously that they are like the Black Ops Cloak and Dagger Avengers team. And I will better argue how this basic setup is ignored and never once achieved in another video. But this issue rejects the idea for us by having the alleged spy team not do any spying and instead gone off to fucking Mars. And it is on Mars where we are poorly introduced to Black Star, Dick Ryder, a great character in his own right, someone who could have been a member of the Avengers but isn't. He's meant to be a member of this team but he clearly isn't. In fact, after this first story arc, he is never seen again, and in this story, he barely interacts with the team. Black Star, he goes to Mars, and this evil company, Miramax, they are drilling, and Black Star ends up stumbling on a secret temple shrine with another serpent heart. And remember how I said that the serpent heart is meant to influence people in its vicinity, and the book just ignored that with Captain America and the Smurf. Well, now Black Star, whose helmet is meant to protect him from outside mental influence, he is within its presence, and he is standing further away from it than Captain America and the Smurf were, but he falls under its sway and he puts it on. And then the writer's big crush, the Last from Revenge. We end with a scene with just her because why not? She gets attacked from behind and we reveal the big bad. The big bad, it's apparently Samuel L. Jackson. But as I have revealed in several other videos by this point, it's not Samuel L. Jackson, it is his robo-copy Maxwell L. Jackson from the Who Remembers Hank Scorpio story. Very little about this book ever worked. I was going to do a whole bit where I had made a list of all the book's positives and saying how they were all undone in this issue, but it was too long-winded, so instead I'll say this: they had an Avengers book not written by Michael Bryan Benson. They had an Avengers book with Captain America as the leader, with classic art members like Scarlett Johansson, the Smurf, and Rhodey Rhodes. They even found a pretty good use for the Smurf in the book. We had a good new addition like Derek Gravy. He is the one who's not on the cover, by the way. We have got the Avengers gunning into space with a baddie from an Art Defender story and the Serpent Heart as a plot point. It sounds like it was made for me, but none of it is done right. And then there's the whole thing about how it doesn't even bother with its concept or even its team. I cannot possibly rate this more than 7 thumbs up. Sorry.